again, it's what sort of capitalism? Is capitalism in its pure form, is that going to help us? Well, probably not. But as I said, I don't think we've ever had capitalism in its pure form. I think that capitalism, in a sense, when Francis Fukuyama talked about the end of history and the triumph of liberal democracy, it's, in a sense, he was correct. I mean, it's hard to think that we're going to have a software for our societies that would be something other than capitalism. But it's always going to be a capitalism tempered by essentially a degree of management, organization, and the role of the state as essentially underpinning and facilitating capitalism. But it's just not the case that we're going to leave it up to the markets to help us solve the problems of society. And I think after the global financial crisis, that kind of rocked the standard foundation of economics. It rocked the foundation, but the foundation, it turned out economics is very resilient because it was able to sustain, and that window of opportunity for really changing things closed very quickly. Whether COVID will now cause that foundation to crumble is an open question. Will it lead to dramatic change in the way that we approach our economic system? Will the extraordinary measures that have been taken, will they remain temporary, but then be replaced by more orthodox thinking and get capitalism back on the road? These are important and open questions. I think that in terms of developing ideas to best serve humanity and the future of our planet and the future of our societies, we do need to change things, because if you look at these metrics on the environment, on climate, these things are getting worse. And market forces and capitalism, there's a big move now to green the economic system and green investment, and we should be investing in green energy and green infrastructure and putting in place the incentives for greener growth. But that's very incremental in its effects. And there's a line by an environmentalist that if we're winning slowly, we're still losing. And so I think markets are very good after markets have reached certain tipping points. But we might not have time for markets to emphasize the importance of green technologies and green energy systems. So the state might have to give things a push, and we might need a lot more intervention. But look at the way, take industrial strategy, for example. There was a sense that picking winners and having state companies was very inefficient, and these things normally failed when exposed to international competition. But in the last few months, we've had companies being ordered to produce certain things by governments because society needed them. We saw the same in World War II. We don't have time for you to build automobiles for public consumption. We need you to build airplanes and tanks and military equipment. And so we can organize our system in a way that solves these problems for society. We have enormous potential to change things. I don't think we can leave it to markets to figure out what the right signals are, because often markets will direct you to things that might actually make the problem worse. So we really need to take charge of our destiny and the destiny of the planet and solve these problems. We've seen remarkable reductions in emissions during the last couple of months. We've showed it can be possible. You can actually stop the workshop of the world and reduce emissions. You can stop international travel. These dramatic action can be taken. These problems are solvable, but economics often gives us the wrong mind frame or the framework to deal with these problems. So we need to supplement it with other things. And so I think there is there's great potential that we could take advantage of this crisis to design a better system. And as I've been saying throughout, we need a better economics and a new economics as well as a new economy.